So we're talking about the truth, the respect, and then deathlessness, which is God.
What was the last one?
Gal means death, so deathless. God is deathless, he can't die because he was never created, yeah? So I was just saying to these lovely ladies, I'm going to tell you a little bit about London so that you can understand it a little bit more and hopefully have a better, more enjoyable London experience. So London was created by Guru Nanak about 500 years ago. He brought it to the earth. In India, he was the first of the Sikh gurus. And he brought it to the world at a time when there was much poverty. In fact, India is still developing now, but in those times, people were dying in their thousands because they didn't have any food. So the gurus did something really profound. It was very simple, but very beautiful. They put a flag outside their house, yeah? And they said, if you're hungry, or if you're being persecuted, come to my house, irrespective of where you come from or what your beliefs are, and we will feed you, we will protect you. And it's a very beautiful, very simple notion, yeah? But the world needed that, because people were being treated in a way that they shouldn't have been, and people were dying of starvation. The world embraced that, they needed that flag, and that flag, that temple of the Guru, has spread across the world. There are thousands of Gurdwara across the world, and we feed about 6 million meals a day. Yeah? So that's roughly half the population of London town, where I'm from, and London's pretty cramped. Okay? And then they go sleep, they wake up, and they do it again. So this is every single day, we're just giving food, and in this way serving humanity, serving God's creation, yeah? So when you go around the corner, you'll notice, when you go inside, you'll notice that everybody's sitting on the floor. That's not because we left our furniture in London. The reason for that is because to teach that principle of equality that was established under that flag, under that Nishan Sahib, yeah, we treat everybody as equals because we believe that inside all of us is the light of God. Our Guru said, "Sab mein jyot jyot hai soy," meaning that inside each and every one of us is the light of God. So if that is truly there, if that belief is truly had, and I know it to be true, then there's no distinction between black and white, or gender, or where you're from, or what your beliefs are, if you're a Christian or a Muslim or a Jew. So under that principle, everybody sits in pangat, in lines, to teach us that humility, that inside all of us is the light of God. In fact, you'll see that you're going to sit there, once you've finished eating, one of the Sikhs who is serving you may sit down in your place, and he will receive food in exactly the same way. Because there is also no distinction between the Sikhs and the non-Sikhs. We don't believe that. It's truly about the light inside of you, truly. And we believe that when you can recognize that light, you can recognize God. And there are those that have got to that spiritual place where they can recognize God. So we worship God in many ways, but two of the main ways are, in the Sikh temple we'll have two halls. One of them is a prayer hall, which is called a Darbar Sahib, where we sing God's praises, which is what my lovely friends were doing over there. And that's spiritual food for your soul. So that food gives you spiritual food for your soul, to nourish you and bring you closer to God, or make you more aware of the God that's inside of you, right? We have a second hall, which is called a langar hall, which is you're going to experience in a minute, right? And the langar hall is there. It's also blessed food, spiritual food, but that nourishes your body. So the idea is that we have balance. There's a practical aspect, a great deal of practical aspects to Sikh religion. If you're starving, you will not be able to focus on your Lord. Yeah. Similarly, if you're full but you've got no connection to God, you need spiritual food. That's when you need to go to the prayer hall. So we believe that we do our meditation, it gives us contentment, and when we serve people, it gives us compassion. And the compassion and the contentment allow us to be righteous beings. So we need both things in our lives. If you just do prayers and you're walking past people that are being treated ill, that's not a way of worship. If you're serving people who are needing food, but you're not thinking of God, again, in some ways you're lacking that complete worship. Does that make sense? Yeah. So you have people. We've probably all been through that phase where you probably came to faith and you started praying, and you're walking past someone that needs help, but you're so busy, caught up in what you're thinking, you're not necessarily thinking about the compassion, the simple steps. And someone else will teach you a valuable lesson. Some other guy will just walk past and give that guy $1, or help somebody out in a way that we could have done, but we're blinded by. So the idea is that by doing both, by serving at all times and by remembering God at all times, we have contentment, we have compassion, and we become righteous beings. We have dharma in our lives. We have righteousness in our lives. So when you go inside, now you know why we're sitting on the floor. Next time you go into a Sikh temple or you go past one, my favourite thing, I shouldn't probably say this, but I'm going to say it anyway, my favourite thing about my faith is this flag, because this flag is amazing, and it would have historically guided people to the Sikh temple. So in India there would have been small huts, not big skyscrapers like there are now, and people would have looked to the skyline, they would have seen that flag from miles away, so that's the house of the Guru. I can go there and I know that I will be given food, or I will be given protection if I'm being persecuted. And that flag would have saved lives. And outside every Sikh temple we have that flag, and every time I go to the temple, I place my head to that flag to remind me of those who died defending that flag, or those who were saved walking towards that flag. So please, when you walk past the temple, if you see that flag, you probably wouldn't have noticed it before, but now you certainly will. Please enjoy the experience, go in, have some langar, maybe do some chanting, remember God, and stay happy, alright?
Thank you, my friend.
Okay.
What was your name, my friend?
My name's Amandeep.